Hey everyone, welcome back for another deep dive.
Yeah.
Today we are talking all about real estate
Oh, yeah.
and how to break into this crazy market as a newbie.
It's a hot topic for sure.
It is. And to help us navigate this whole thing, we're going to be dissecting a really interesting episode from the
Yeah.
Real Estate Rookie Show called From Dreamers to Doers, Newbie Tales in Real Estate.
Ooh, I like that title.
I know, it's really catchy.
Very inspiring.
Yeah, and it's perfect for anyone who's, kind of tired of just thinking about getting into real estate and wants to start taking some action.
Love it.
So what we're going to do today is pull out the most actionable advice from these real rookies who've, been in your shoes,
Yeah.
made those mistakes, had those wins, and hopefully we can learn from them.
Yeah, learn from their mistakes.
Exactly. And I think what I loved about this episode specifically is that it features a really diverse range of rookies,
Okay.
each with their own unique approach to the market.
Awesome.
So like one of them is Sarah, and she's a mom of 3
Oh, yeah.
and just bought her first duplex.
Good for her.
I know, I was so impressed. And I think a lot of our listeners can probably relate to her story, trying to balance that family life,
Right.
but also wanting more financial freedom.
Of course.
And she's doing this really cool thing that we hear about all the time. House hacking.
House hacking. Yeah, that's a popular one these days.
It is, but the episode actually goes into the details of how it's actually working for her.
Okay, I'm interested.
So she bought this duplex
Oh,
in
yeah.
a suburb outside of Austin.
Nice.
And get this, one of the units is a 3-bedroom.
Oh, wow.
Perfect for her family.
Perfect.
So she's living in one unit and renting out the other.
Okay, the classic house hack.
Exactly. But I'm curious, what does that look like financially,
Yeah, that's the important part.
Well, are the numbers actually working out for her?
Right, because it's not just about finding any duplex.
Exactly.
It's got to make financial sense.
Exactly. So she managed to find a property where the rent from the second unit covers about 70% of her mortgage payment.
Wow, 70%. That's huge.
I know, it's incredible.
That's a big chunk of change.
It is. So, it's not just about finding any duplex. It's about really, crunching those numbers and making sure the property you're buying aligns with your financial goals.
Yeah, you can't let emotions run away with you,
Right.
even if it's a beautiful place.
Exactly. You got to look at those numbers.
The numbers are key.
Okay, so we're talking about potential pitfalls. And, Sarah's story actually includes a very classic rookie mistake.
Oh, no. What happened?
The contractor debacle.
Oh, the contract. I've heard so many horror stories.
I know, it's so common. And she hired a contractor without doing enough due diligence.
Oh, no.
And it ended up costing her a lot of time and money.
Ugh, that's so frustrating.
It is. I mean, I know I've been there. I've been intimidated by that whole process,
Yeah.
finding contractors, getting quotes.
It can be overwhelming.
It can be. So what did the podcast actually recommend?
Well, they stressed getting multiple quotes,
Okay.
like at least 3, if
Oh,
not more.
Wow.
And don't just rely on those online reviews.
Right,
Actually,
right.
reach out to previous clients and ask about their experience.
Oh, that's smart because sometimes those online reviews, you never know.
Exactly. You got to
Yeah.
get the real scoop.
You do. And I think it's easy to just go with the first person you meet that seems friendly and knowledgeable.
Yeah, somebody you vibe with.
Right. But taking that extra step to do your research
Yeah,
can really save you a lot of headaches down the road.
absolutely.
And it's not even just about finding the cheapest option. It's
Yeah.
about finding someone who's reliable,
Yes.
communicative, and who you feel comfortable working with.
It's like a partnership.
Exactly. Trust is key.
Couldn't agree more.
Mm.
And speaking of partnerships, another takeaway from Sarah's story and the whole episode really is the importance of building a solid team.
Yes. You can't do it all alone.
Wait.
So who are those key players that you should have on your real estate team?
Well, first and foremost, a good real estate agent,
Okay.
someone who understands your goals, your budget,
Right.
and your investment strategy.
Makes sense. They're your guide through this crazy world of real estate.
Exactly.
Mm-hmm.
And then you need a reliable lender
Oh.
who can help you secure financing.
All right. So agent lender and
The agent lender and,
they also suggest finding a mentor.
oh, a mentor. That's a great idea.
Yeah, someone who's already experienced in real estate investing and can offer guidance and support.
Yeah, especially for all those tricky situations
Right.
that you don't really learn about from books or podcasts.
Exactly. Real world experience.
Okay, but how do you even find a good mentor
That's a good question.
when it seems like everyone and their mother is trying to get into real estate?
Right. The market is so competitive.
It is. So how do you even break through the noise?
Well, the podcast actually addresses that later in the episode.
Okay.
But before we get to that, let's talk about those quick tips they offered for newbies. Yes. Okay, so we've heard about Sarah's house hacking journey and how important it is to have a good team.
Right.
But what other nuggets of wisdom did they share?
So many good ones. Well, they had this whole segment called Quick Tips for Newbies.
Okay.
But honestly, I think each tip could be its own deep dive.
Totally. I agree. They really packed a lot into that section.
They did.
Which one stood out to you?
The first one, and this kind of goes back to what we were just saying with Sarah's story,
Okay.
is the importance of running the numbers.
Running the numbers, that sounds pretty basic.
Yeah.
But I have a feeling a lot of people get, caught up
Right.
in the excitement of a potential property.
Oh, absolutely.
And forget about those,
The cold, hard facts.
Yeah, the financials.
Yeah, it's easy to fall in love with a charming house.
Oh, yeah.
Or get swept up in bidding wars.
I've been there.
But they really stressed looking beyond the surface.
Okay.
And really analyzing, that potential return on investment.
So what does running the numbers actually look like? What kind of calculations should you be doing?
Well, they mentioned a few key metrics.
Okay.
Like cap rate.
Okay.
Which is basically the rate of return you can expect on your investment.
Got it.
And cash-on-cash return.
Okay.
Which factors in how much of your own money you're putting down.
Okay. Those are terms I've definitely heard.
Yeah.
But I'll admit I don't fully grasp what they mean.
Sure.
Are those calculations you need like a financial advisor to help you with?
Not necessarily, no.
Okay.
The podcast mentioned there's tons of online calculators
Nice.
and resources available
Okay.
that can help you figure out these metrics.
So you can do it yourself?
Exactly.
Really?
You can even plug in different scenarios,
Okay.
like varying interest rates or rental income projections
Oh, that's smart.
to really get a better understanding of the potential profitability of a property.
Okay. So that takes some of the intimidation factor out of it.
Exactly.
What was the next tip they offered?
So the second one was all about building your team,
Right.
which we already touched on.
Yeah.
But they went beyond just listing those key players,
Okay.
agent, lender, mentor.
Yeah.
And they really emphasized the quality of those relationships.
Okay. So it's not just about having, a warm body in each role.
Exactly.
It's about finding people that you trust.
Yes.
Who are experts in their field.
Right.
And who are going to advocate for your best interests.
Absolutely. They even suggested interviewing multiple agents before choosing one.
Oh, wow. Okay.
Just like you would with a contractor.
Interesting.
And asking for referrals from other investors to find a lender.
Okay.
Who understands the unique challenges of real estate financing.
Got it. Those are great tips because it really highlights how important due diligence is in every aspect of real estate.
Yes.
Not just when you're inspecting a property.
Right, in every step of the process.
Exactly.
Yep.
Okay, so what was the third tip?
All right, so this is the one that really resonated with me.
Okay, hit me.
The third tip was about taking action.
Oh, taking action. I like that.
Yeah. They emphasized that you can read all the books, listen to all the podcasts, attend all the webinars, but nothing replaces real-world experience.
Yes, 100%. I am someone who can so easily get stuck in that research phase.
Oh, yeah. Analysis paralysis.
Yes, just consuming information endlessly without actually doing anything.
Exactly. And they acknowledge that analysis paralysis is a real thing.
It is. It is.
But they encourage listeners to just jump in and start gaining that practical experience.
Easier said than done, though, right?
Sure.
Especially when you're first starting out and you're afraid of making those costly mistakes.
Well, they addressed that too.
Okay, good.
They said that mistakes are inevitable.
Yeah.
And they're actually valuable learning opportunities.
That is such a good point.
Wow.
I think that's something that holds a lot of people back.
The fear of failure.
Exactly. But as long as you're doing your research, being smart about your investments,
Right.
and surrounding yourself with a good team,
Yeah.
even those mistakes can be turned into valuable lessons.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
And they actually shared a personal anecdote
Okay.
about a property they overpaid for early in their investing career.
Oh, I'd love to hear that story. What happened?
So they got caught up in a bidding war.
I hate those.
Yeah. And ended up paying above market value for a property
Okay.
that needed way more renovations than they initially anticipated.
Oh, so that sounds like a costly mistake.
It was. But they said looking back, it was one of the best things that could happen to them.
Really?
Because it taught them some invaluable lessons about market analysis due diligence
Okay.
and the importance of sticking to their budget.
That's a great reminder that even the experts make mistakes.
Oh, yeah, we all do.
And it's how you learn and grow from them that matters.
Exactly.
So we've got these 3 core tips: run the numbers, build your team, and take action.
Yep.
But the podcast also tackled a question I know is on a lot of listeners' minds.
Okay.
How to break into the market
Yeah.
when the competition is so fierce.
Right. It's a tough one.
It is, they took a question from a listener named Mike from Denver,
Okay.
who was struggling to find his first property
Tough market.
in a super competitive market like Denver.
Yeah.
What advice did they give Mike?
Well, one of the hosts, Jake, shared his personal experience of finding a property off market.
Off market? What does that even mean?
So basically it means finding a property that isn't listed publicly
Okay.
on the MLS or other real estate websites.
So how do you even find those off-market properties?
Oh, it sounds like a secret society.
Yeah.
Well, Jake emphasized the power of networking.
Networking, okay.
He actually found his first deal through a connection he made
Oh, wow.
at a local Real Estate Investors Association meeting.
Oh, an REI meetup.
Exactly.
Okay, so it's about getting out there, talking to people,
Yep.
building relationships, letting people know you're actively looking for properties.
Exactly. And they suggested attending local REI meetups, joining online forums,
Okay.
even reaching out to wholesalers in your area.
So instead of just passively browsing listings online, right?
It's about being proactive.
Yes.
And tapping into a wider network.
Precisely.
Mm.
And they said that off-market deals often come with less competition
Well, that's good.
and sometimes even better pricing.
Okay, so we've covered Sarah's house hacking adventure,
Yes.
those 3 essential tips for newbies,
Mm-hmm.
and even delved into the world of off-market deals.
That's a whole other world.
It is. What else did this deep dive uncover?
Well, they wrapped up the episode with a really thought-provoking question
Okay.
that I think is worth considering as we continue this conversation.
Okay, lay it on me. I'm ready to be provoked. All
So
right, I'm all ears. What was the question?
they asked, what unique skills or resources can you bring to real estate investing even as a rookie?
That's a good one.
Mm-hmm.
You know, it's so easy to compare yourself to people who have way more experience.
Right.
But this question really makes you think about your own strengths.
Yeah, what makes you you?
Exactly. And they pointed out that everyone has something special to offer.
Whether it's your, professional background, your personal network, or even just your personality.
It's all valuable.
It is. It reminds me of something I read recently
If I...
about how introverts can actually be really successful in real estate
Oh, interesting.
because they're good listeners and they often have strong analytical skills.
Makes sense.
Yeah.
They're good at observing and processing information.
Exactly. So it's really about, finding those hidden advantages
Right.
that you might not even realize you have.
Like superpowers you never knew about.
Yes, exactly. So instead of trying to fit into this mold of, what you think a real estate investor should be,
Right.
it's about leveraging your own individual strengths.
Absolutely. Maybe you're amazing at negotiating,
Okay.
or you have a knack for design and can spot those diamonds in the rough.
Oh, yeah. Or maybe you're just really good at connecting with people,
Yeah.
which is so important for, building relationships and finding those off-market deals.
Couldn't agree more.
Yeah.
It's all about finding your niche and playing to your strength.
Love that. So as we wrap up this deep dive into the world of real estate rookies,
Yes.
what are some of those key takeaways that our listeners should keep in mind?
Okay, well, first and foremost, remember Sarah's story
Yes.
and how important due diligence is.
Yes, do your research.
Whether you're house hacking, buying a rental property, or even just working with contractors,
Right.
always do your research. Ask questions.
And don't be afraid to ask questions, and don't underestimate the power of a good team.
Absolutely. Finding a good real estate agent, lender, and mentor,
Yeah, they can make all the difference.
they can. And remember those 3 crucial tips.
Yes.
Run the numbers, build your team, and take action.
Don't get stuck in that analysis paralysis.
Get out there and do it.
Exactly. And lastly, I think that final question they posed is so important.
Yeah.
What unique skills and resources can you bring to the table?
Think about it.
Take some time to really think about that, because it's those unique strengths
Mm-hmm.
that are going to set you apart in this competitive world of real estate.
Well said. Couldn't agree more. This has been a great deep dive,
It has. I've learned a lot.
full of actionable advice for anyone who's ready to take that plunge.
Awesome. Well, thanks for joining me on this deep dive into the world of real estate rookies.
Of course, my pleasure.
We hope you found it valuable and insightful. And remember, real estate investing is a journey, not a race.
Take your time
So do your research. Don't be afraid to jump in and get started.
and find those superpowers.
Yes, find those superpowers. Until next time, happy investing.